how you're supposed to feel is bullshit. So I've been wanting to make this video for like 9 months now, and it all started with a lyric from Bon Iver's song 666 off of 22 a Million. There's this one line that really stuck with me. That's not how that's supposed to feel. How can anybody tell you how you're supposed to feel, let alone what you're not supposed to feel? Everything is relative, everyone processes and deals with situations uniquely, and you shouldn't add extra pressure to feel a certain way when they're already trying to deal with the way that they're feeling. I've always felt pushed to feel a certain way, but could never really identify those moments. But I did a bit of research into the topic, and I found that people usually say this stuff to you in very indirect ways. Not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not likely you'll be friends with someone who explicitly says you're overreacting about a situation, or that it's not a big deal. In fact, people usually say something along the lines of, "You should be happy about that," or "Other people have it worse." But the one that I dislike the most is, "You should be over it by now," as if to say you haven't been trying. But sometimes they're not entirely at fault. People have a certain level of empathy, but they haven't always experienced what you have, and they don't always know the extent of the impact it had on you. Other times, these people might just be uncomfortable in their own feelings, or trying to process yours. This isn't just about individual interactions either. Social media, songs, movies, they're often at fault too, indirectly teaching a lot of people that emotions should follow a said script. Feelings aren't always massive breakdowns and outbursts. Sometimes they're just floating about subtly. They're hard to define. Sometimes anger isn't yelling and slamming doors. Sometimes it's shutting down completely. Sometimes heartbreak isn't sobbing in the rain. It's lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling nothing at all. But when you grow up consuming media that portrays emotions in these predictable, exaggerated ways, you might start to feel like you're experiencing them wrong. Music is a big part of this too. Songs romanticize sadness and heartbreak, making it sound poetic. And sometimes it is. But sadness? It's not aesthetic. It's not a perfectly timed montage with a soundtrack playing in the background. It's messy, numb, and sometimes it doesn't make any sense at all. Social media takes it even further. People curate their emotions just like they curate their outfits. They share the most intense, dramatic versions of their feelings, because those are the ones that get attention. You don't see the quiet sadness, you don't see the everyday, unremarkable kind of happiness. You see the highest highs and the lowest lows, and over time, that affects you. It makes you question your own emotions. Am I really sad if I'm not crying? Am I really happy if I don't feel euphoric? I think about someone like Robbie Williams, a man who seemed larger than life, charismatic, funny, loud, full of energy. He has this presence that makes you feel like he's untouchable. But behind all of that, he was dealing with serious mental health issues. Depression, addiction, insecurities. He once said that he felt more alone in a crowd of thousands than he ever did by himself. That contrast between how someone appears and what they're actually going through says so much. And that's the part that makes me mad, like genuinely mad, because sometimes people try to dictate how you're supposed to feel, like there's only one acceptable reaction to a situation. But emotions don't work like that, and nobody gets to tell you that you're doing it wrong. I watched Requiem for a Dream recently, and that stood out to me because it didn't try to tell you how to feel. It just showed what emotions are. The way the characters spiral isn't dramatized for the sake of storytelling. It's raw, uncomfortable, and it's painful to watch. It doesn't force feed you emotions, it just lays them out and lets you sit with them. And maybe that's something we need more of. Not media that dictates how we should feel, but media that reminds us that emotions aren't always poetic or dramatic. Sometimes they just exist, and that's okay.